And now let me invite the next speaker, Adi Engel, CBDO at vCita. Adi, hello and welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
It's really good to be here, and Sybil, thank you for that fantastic presentation. I am, if I may introduce myself, I'm Chief Business Development Officer at vCita. I am unfortunately not a banker and possibly the least person in the panel. But what we do at vCita is we have been working for quite a while on helping small businesses, micro businesses, digitalize their business operations. And we're partnering with financial services as well as telcos, marketing services to help deliver that digitalization for small businesses together with them. So just a little bit about vCita and who you are to create some credibility. We are 10 years old this year. I know this slide says we're 130 people, but by now we're 130. And what we do for a living is help small businesses of many professions and many verticals figure out how to manage their basically the holy trinity of money, time, and clients. And of course, these are the fundamentals of every business. If you don't have clients that pay you, then you're effectively not a business. And of course, the biggest challenge that we see from our perspective is how do you prioritize working in the business as opposed to working on the business. So we're in touch with those customers. We're working with them over Facebook groups, onboarding calls, support conversations. And our aim when we're working together with them is, first of all, to simplify business operations, then automate whatever we can. And nowadays we understand more and more that we need to also take a significant part in the way that they learn how to digitalize business operation, how to optimize their businesses, how to make them more transparent, more efficient. And eventually the objective would be to allow them to focus on what's most important. And of course, in any economy, competitive economy, the client experience is the most important part. And if they are to create those great customer experiences with a little time and the great stress that they would have, especially in the last few months, then we need to be there to support them. Now, as we were working out, our learning business, learning how to become a better business activity, we tried to look at digital inclusion as a learning process. And I think specifically, we did say, I don't know if you caught it on the first slide, but we have 1.5 million registered users. We have to appreciate the fact that the majority of those customers would be early adopters. That is people who were able to come to us and figure out what is missing in their business, what is their pain point, search for a solution, find a landing page, click on try now and get started on a digital journey. And if we're looking at the percentage of people who do that, the percentage of people who are early adopters in almost any economy, we're looking at 5%, 10% of businesses. So our aim together with our partners is how do we reach what's called the early majority? That would be 35, 40% of the population that are not necessarily afraid of technology. They're looking to advance their businesses. They're looking to do a better job, but they might not have the language to articulate their need. They might not have good ideas on how to get there. So we look at this as a learning process. And I wanted to bring in the definition of what learning is. And learning, and by the way, this is the behavioral definition. There are other definitions as well, but this works for me, which is a relatively permanent change in behavior that occurs as a result of experience. And I'd like to specifically focus on the aspect of change. If we're going to ask people to digitalize their business, we're asking them to move away from something that they've done before and into potentially the unknown. So we needed to take a look at how we asked them to change, what we asked them to change. And if anything, what we found is that we needed to look into ourselves and how we communicate with them. So we're product people. As I said, I'm not absolutely a nerdy product person. We're a product company. The majority of our employees are developers and product managers. And we have a lot of feature set. And we do ask our clients, what feature set are you looking for? They would tell us. We have upwards of 200 different features built into the product. And therefore, we used to look at things from a very practical perspective. And, individually, we would say, you talk to our clients and they would tell us, I need to do this, I need to do that, which was perhaps the mistake, because eventually, if you are a micro business and you manage that business on a day-to-day level, you are not, walking away from it at the end of the day. When it's, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, the end of your working day, you're not walking away from it like an accountant might. And therefore, we needed to look at entrepreneurship as a set of tasks to fulfill. And we needed to start look at them as a state of being, which is, I am probably an entrepreneur 24/7. I'm thinking about it, I'm living it, I have an emotional connection to what I'm doing. I'm not just leaving my computer at 5 and walking away from it. And in order to do that, we needed to converse with the team. I'm sorry, Elena, I think you needed to mute.
Yes.
So we assembled a team of small businesses, and we asked those small businesses to help us figure out what we need to do. This is the original team, the people here that you see on the screen, the original team that helped us with that. We did have a lot more participants in this project since, but just wanted to highlight the fact that our educational platform was built not just for SMEs, but by SMEs, which we are very, very proud of. And as we were talking to them about what are their needs and what are they looking for, and through those conversations, we were looking at a much, much wider range of discussion points. So it wasn't just about how do I make sure all of my appointments are have automated reminders, or how do I chase my clients for outstanding balance. It was also about how do I create team alignment. It was also about how do I maintain my own motivation, and more so, and more than any other segment, which is why micro businesses are so exciting to work with. People talk about their dreams. People talk about how do they realize themselves as individuals, and that was really an amazing experience. Again, for us, we might be a small business having 140 employees, but we're definitely not in the front line in the same way that they are. And then the second part was, now that we have all of this learning, how do we build this into an experience? So what exactly is an experience on a digital platform, assuming that we're not out there to train them face to face. And we realized eventually that, we have, thankfully, social media and so much content out there that tells us what people respond to emotionally. And we know that people respond well to videos of genuine people sharing their actual experiences. We know people respond to inspiring stories, but we also know that people respond to stories about failures that you learned from. So we made sure not to include just, amazing stories about how digitalization worked well, but also what they learned from the parts that didn't work well, or the parts that, weren't for them. So we've compiled all of that into a project. And we went live together also during Corona time. So in April, we launched businessunusual.io. That is our learning hub that we launched together with MasterCard. And we try to make sure that, first of all, of course, all SMEs will have access to free content and something that they can do to start figuring out how to address their their open issues and questions marks, which is specifically around how to work through the pandemic. And what we, of course, also needed to take into account that if we're working together with a brand like MasterCard, we're going to be talking to a lot of different people in a lot of different stages in their lives, in their business lives. So we might be talking to people who get it instantly, and they'll be like, okay, I get it. I'll just go activate the tool and I'll be ready to go. And we've seen quite a lot of these. We do see people tell us, I'm quite anxious about technology. I don't even know to say why. And we know people are anxious about change in general. So we have to take care of their process as well. We have people say, I would love to do this, but I don't know where to start. I don't know how to get to that point. So we have to kind of create baby steps or micro goals for them. Where do I start when I have a mountain of work to digitalize? Where, what could I possibly do as my first step? And we have to cater for these people as well. And finally, we have to take into account that on some tools, in some situations, people will tell you, you know what, this is simply not for me. I'm not looking to automate my class subscriptions because that is it. I like that personal attention. I like the personal content. Wouldn't want to do that. And we have to respect that as well, and possibly offer them other beneficial tools that they can use instead of the ones that they do not wish to use. And then finally, of course, we have to take all of these people into account and understand that this is the beginning of their journey into digitalization. So we have to kind of combine all of that into a single experience, which is what we're doing, for example. And again, we have many examples, many different custom ways of building this together with each of our partners. So we have all kinds of examples that I would love to talk more about them during the panel. But for right now, actually this week, we're running together with MasterCard a workshop in Europe that starts with a 40-minute webinar. But of course, we don't want them to just do a 40-minute webinar. We would want to take them down the funnel. So over that call, we asked them to do a self-assessment of their business needs and understand, what could help them where they are right now in their digitalization journey. We then offer them a set of tools and lessons to take this to the next level, which they can then complete in their own free time. And eventually we make sure that all of the people that participated are connected to each other in a business community. Because if there's one thing that we learned is that peer learning and, peer lessons taken together are the most important ones to change and influence the behavior of our customers, and of course, influence for the better. And finally, just an option to mention our team's motto, which is "We rise by lifting others." I truly believe that every person that joined us today could understand their responsibilities right now through COVID and understand, what does it mean for us to be supporting this amazing segment of the economy. So we're very thankful and very fortunate to be working with them.